and welcome to another of Mrs. C's Maths Lessons. Hello, here are the answers for yesterday's simplifying ratio problems. Number 1 was 1 to 5, number 2 5 to 4. These are all in the lowest term, so perhaps if you've got them wrong you might not have cancelled them down. So just check that and modify your answer if you've not got the absolute answer. Number 3 was 8 to 3. Don't modify the answer if it is completely wrong though. Number 4 is 7 to 6. Number 5 was the 3 comparison, 6 to 4 to 1, it cancelled down to. Number 6, 8 to 3. Number 7, 10 to 3. Number 8, 12 to 7. Number 9, 1 to 5 to 4. Number 10, 7 to 3 to 6. Number 11, 1 to 2 to 5. And number 12, 1 to 6. Okay, so welcome back. Today's lesson is going to concentrate on problem solving using ratio. So in your maths book or on a piece of paper, the learning intention is ratio problem solving. We're going to look at 2 different problems related to what we started to learn yesterday and then see how we feel, and I'll set you some work to do for tomorrow. So problem 1. Right, so we've got prize money of £200 and it is going to be shared in a ratio of 3 to 2. Diana to Dave. Now if you remember what we were looking at yesterday, ratio compares part to part, whereas fractions compare part to whole. Okay, so the number of parts that the whole £200 is divided into here is 3 to 2. So how many altogether, how many of the parts are the £200 divided into? What is the total number? 3 add 2 is... So that is the number of parts that we've got. That's the first thing that we need to do when we are going to find out how much they each receive. Right, so now we really need to work out what one of those parts is worth to then be able to work out the 3 to 2 ratio. So how are you going to work out what one of the parts is worth if they're divided in? The pi of 200 is being divided into 5. I've just told you, haven't I? Can you work that out? 5's into 200, let's see. Might have done it in your head already, some of you. 5's into 2 go 0, 5's into 20 go 4 times, and the placeholder of 40. Okay, so there's 40 5's in 20. So each share, each one of these is worth £40. Okay, so Diana is getting 3 of those shares compared to Dave, because remember it goes, Diana is the first one in the ratio to Dave. It always reads across, Diana to Dave, 3 to 2. Okay, so Diana's getting 3 of the portions and Dave is getting 2. So Dave first, 2 of the portions of £40. Do you agree? And Dave is getting, Diana now is getting 3 of the 40. 3 of the 40, 3 times 4 is, you worked it out? So if you add those 2 together, you'll get back to the whole amount. So let's write, we don't need to write the ratio there, do we? That is the answer. That is the answer. 80 and 120. So you find out the total number of shares, find out the value of 1, and then times that by what's in the ratio to find what each person is getting. Straightforward enough? Let's go on to problem 2. Slightly different way of working with ratio here. Right, so we've got a school and the ratio of boys to girls in that school is 6 to 5. So for every 6 boys, there are 5 girls out of the whole amount at the school. But we don't know what the whole amount of the school is, and that is what we're being asked to find out. What we do know, and you have to always look at when you're looking at ratio problems, is that there are 168 boys, okay? So here I've written It's a bit like we were looking at yesterday, like equivalent fractions, okay? So let's look. This is 6 boys to 5 girls out of the whole amount, at the school. So there's 168 boys. What have you done to that 6 to make it 168? Just like an equivalent fraction. So we need to find out the value of that part, the value of one of those. So we do 6 into 168. What have you done with that to make it that? Then you can do the same to the girls. Okay? Right, so 6's into 168. 6's into 16. 6's into 1 go 0. 6's into 16 go 2. Remainder 4. 6's into 48. 8 6's are 48. So each portion, each one of these is worth 28. We've forgotten something though, haven't we? We've got to find out how many portions there are. How many is this pie divided up into? Each portion is worth 28 children. The number of portions, 6 add 5. So how are you going to find out how many children there are altogether? 28 per portion, 11 portions. Would you agree? Right, so 28 times 11. 28 times 10 would be 280. And then we add another 28. $308, a bit bigger. 308 children all together at the school. Oops. Are you with me? Right, let's have a look at another couple of problems. Right, welcome back. So here comes another problem. The ratio of adults to children in a cinema for every, so of course it's adults to children, so this is the adults and this is the children. It always works the same way in the question. That's important for when I set you the questions in a minute or two. So adults is 3, children is 4. For every 3 adults, that portion, there are 4 children, okay? And the question is asking us how many children are there in the cinema, okay? The other bit of information that we know is the number of adults. The number of adults is 111. So it's like a scale, isn't it, comparing one to the other. So, but more easily accessible is the fact that it is like an equivalent fraction. 3 over 4, 3 to 4. What have you done to the 3 to make it 11? And then you can do the same to the 4 when we get a bit further into the problem. Okay, so let's find out the value of one part. What have you done to the 3 to make it into 111? You need to find out how many times it goes in, how many times have you multiplied it. 3 into 11 goes 3. Remainder 2. 3's into 21 go 7. Okay, so you've times it by 37. Remember that. Remember that. Okay, oh, you can put it here, I suppose, 37. Okay, 37 people. 37 people per portion. How many parts? How many parts has that whole pie of how many people were at the cinema been split up into? 3 add 4 is 7. Okay, so we know that each pie is worth 37 and we know that there are 7 portions. So how many people altogether? What sum are you going to do? 7 portions, 37 people per portion. 37 times 7, 3 7s are 21, 25, 259 people. Okay, what are you being asked? Let's go back to that now. How many children are there? Okay, so if this is how many people there are altogether, and this is how many adults there are, how are we going to work out how many children there are? So now we need to take away the number of adults from the total number of people in the cinema to work out the number of children. 9 take away 1 is 8, 5 take away 1 is 4, and 2 take away 1 is 1. 148 children. Brilliant. Okay, so what you need to do is use the information that you've got find out what you're doing to the ratio to make it bigger. How many times are you timesing it by? How many parts is the whole number of people divided into that ratio? And then use what you've got to work out the answer to your question. I think you can do this. I'm going to set you some questions and you can have a go yourself. Okay, here we are with today's problems. So you have got 3. You are looking at ratios and you are looking at finding, if you know the ratio and you know what one part of it is, how do you work out the other part? So you've got 3 questions asking you similar but different problems, really, okay? Good luck. Take your time. Whatever you do to one side, do to the other. And remember, you need to work out how many there are out of the whole. Remember to like, subscribe and turn on post notifications.